When this older black woman died, her children opened the drawer where she kept her papers. They braced themselves for what they would find. There was no stack of bills, no payment book, no letter from any bank. The house was paid for. The car was paid for. Everything in that home was hers, free and clear, down to the last spoon. She was an older black woman in Durham, North Carolina, up off Parrish Street. Her name was Roberta, and in the whole of her life, she never owed a single dollar to anyone. In the 1960s, in a country that gave black homes every reason to drown in debt, she did not. No credit card, no car note, no collector ever once called that house. Roberta lived by a code, a plain set of money rules that kept her free. Black households all through Durham lived by that same code. And here is the hard truth. It has almost completely disappeared. Americans now owe more than $1 trillion on credit cards alone. The average home is buried under car notes, store cards, and payments that never seem to end. Roberta owed nothing, not one dime, to anyone, ever. She did not have more money than we do. She had a code, and she held to it. 10 rules ran her whole money life, and we are counting all 10. And by the time we reach number 1, you will have that whole code in your own hands. 10 plain rules, each with the reason it worked, that a black home in Durham lived by and never wrote down. Stay close with me. Number 10, Roberta paid cash for everything, not just the small things, the big ones too. Up on Parrish Street, a used car, a new icebox. The older black woman saved for months, sometimes years, and then she counted it out in bills. Credit cards were rare then, and mostly shut off to black homes anyway. And even when a card was offered, black households in Durham turned it down flat. The dollar you borrow cost you a second dollar in interest before you are ever done. The dollar you saved cost you nothing but the wait. So when Roberta drove that car home, it was hers. All of it. That very day. Here is the rule, and it still holds. If the money is not already in your hand, the thing is not yet yours to buy. Pay for it in full, and you own it the moment you carry it home. That is the whole difference between owning a thing and renting it from a bank. Number 9. Before Roberta paid a single bill, she paid herself first. In the kitchen in Durham, there was a coffee can up on the shelf that was not for coffee. The older black woman folded bills into that can and into a slit in the mattress, in spots known only to her. A little went in every single payday, before the rent, before the food. It was never much. A few dollars at a time, week after week after week. But money set aside quietly and never touched has a way of growing into a wall. That wall was what stood between her home and the finance man when trouble came. A broken furnace, a doctor bill, a long stretch with no work. Here is the rule, and it never changed. You pay yourself first, before you pay another living soul. Take a little off the top every payday and hide it where your own hand cannot reach it easy. A home with something put by never has to borrow and never has to beg. Let me stop for just one breath. Everything on this list came from our people, the ones who knew and were never once thanked. Your own grandmother was likely one of them. So stay close and subscribe to the channel so none of this gets lost. And there is more of it waiting for you at blackgrandmasvault.com. Thank you kindly. Now, back to the counting. Number 8. When Roberta wanted something big, she did not borrow for it. She waited for it. Down at the Sears in Durham, the older black woman put the winter coats on layaway in the heat of summer. A few dollars down, a few dollars a week, and the coat came home only when it was fully paid. No interest, no credit check, no risk of owing a dime you could not cover. And every Friday, Black households in Durham walked into the bank to feed the Christmas club. A little went in all year long, locked away, and it came back as one lump sum in December. So the children had something under the tree, and the home did not go broke to put it there. Here is the rule, and it works today just the same. You buy the thing after you have the money, never once before. Name what you want, set a little toward it each week, and bring it home paid for. Waiting is not going without. Waiting is what keeps the debt off your back for good. Number 7. This one came a long way, all the way from West Africa. On Parrish Street, a circle of Black women ran a thing they called the Susu. 10 of them, trusted neighbors and church members, each put in the same set amount every week. And every week, the whole pot went home with one woman until every one of them had her turn. 10 women, $20 apiece, and somebody carried home $200 that day. No bank, no credit check, no interest, not ever. The only thing holding it together was trust. And trust was the one thing these women had in full. Miss your week and you were not letting down a bank. You were letting down your own neighbors. Here is the rule, and people still live by it in Durham today. A circle of folks you trust can do the work of a bank and charge you nothing. Find a handful of people you would never let down, put in together, and take your turns. That is a bank you built with your own hands, and it owes nothing to anyone. Stop here for just 1 second. Do you see what these people were really doing all along? Not one of these rules came from a bank. Not one of them charged a dime of interest. The coffee can, the Christmas club, the Susu on Parrish Street. Black households were building their whole money life with their own 2 hands. And the closer we get to number 1, the plainer it all becomes. The freedom in that home was never bought. It was kept, on purpose, week by week. Keep going with me. Number 6. When real trouble came, Roberta did not go to a lender. She went to the church. The Black church in Durham was far more than a place to pray on a Sunday. It was a bank and a safety net, all in the one building. The older Black woman knew the deacons kept a fund for homes that had fallen on hard times. A death, a sickness, a job gone. And the deacons came to the door with groceries, and sometimes with cash from the Sunday plate. The burial society took a few coins a week, so that no home ever had to beg to bury its own. Everybody gave what they could, and everybody got help when their own day came. Here is the rule, and it holds anywhere people still look out for each other. Neighbors carry neighbors, and no paper is ever signed. Build that kind of net around your own home, and give into it freely when times are good. Do that, and you never have to fall into the arms of a lender when times turn hard. Number 5. And this one, Durham did better than almost anywhere in the country. Right there on Parrish Street stood the North Carolina Mutual, a life insurance company built and run by Black hands. It was founded back in 1898, and it grew into the largest Black-owned business in all of America. When the white insurers turned Black homes away, or charged them double, the men of Durham had simply built their own. Its agents walked the neighborhoods themselves, collecting a few coins a week, knowing every home by name. The older Black woman paid her policy to a man who looked like her own son, and the money stayed right there in Durham. That money did not leave the community. It came back as loans and houses and jobs. Here is the rule, and it is as true now as it was then. Money kept close. Among your own comes back around to lift you. Spend where they spend on you. Bank where they bank on you. A dollar that stays in the community feeds the same hands that earned it. Number 4. Out behind the house in Durham, Roberta grew a good part of her own supper. The older black woman kept a garden of collard greens, tomatoes, okra, and beans through the whole summer. A few chickens scratched in the yard, for eggs most days, and for Sunday dinner now and then. This came straight up from the South, carried north by black homes during the great move out of the cotton country. Everybody worked it. The children planted and weeded and pulled and learned where food really comes from. And what the garden made in summer, she put up in jars to last the winter. Here is the rule, and it still puts money in your pocket. What you grow is what you never have to buy and never have to owe for. A patch of ground and a few hens is money sitting right there in the dirt. And a home that can feed itself never has to ask the store for one thin dime of credit. Number 3, in Roberta's world, a skill was as good as cash, and she spent hers. On the porches up and down Parrish Street, black women braided hair and altered dresses for one another. The man who cut hair on his own front steps took fresh greens from the home with the garden as his pay. The older black woman who could sew traded a hemmed skirt for a jar of preserves, and no money ever moved. These trades ran on nothing but knowing your neighbors, and knowing just what each of you could do. Here is the rule, and it holds in any neighborhood on earth. A skill in your own 2 hands is as good as cash, so learn one and spend it. Braid, sew, cut hair, fix a motor, cook a meal, and you can trade for half of what you need. The dollar you did not have to spend is a dollar you never once had to borrow. When I first started looking into all of this, I kept waiting for the trick. The one thing they had that we do not. It never came. Every rule was just plain sense, lived out on Parrish Street day after day. Black homes were not richer than we are. They simply refused to owe. And the last 2 are the ones that held the whole code together. There is more of it waiting for you at blackgrandmasvault.com. Let us finish this out. Number 2, and this one runs deeper than money. It runs all the way back. Roberta would not owe a white store or a white bank if there was any way at all around it. And the older black woman had hard reasons for it that her own people had lived through. Not so long before, black homes in the South had been trapped by debt on purpose. The sharecropper who could never get out from under what he owed the man who owned the land. The store that kept the books and kept them crooked so the bill never once came clean. To owe, in a world that gave a black home no protection in the law, was a dangerous thing. So black households in Durham saved until they could pay cash, or they did without. Here is the rule they left us, and it still keeps a person safe. Owe no one, and no one holds any power over you. It was never only about the money. It was about keeping the leash out of every hand but your own. Number 1, and this one was never a rule you could write down in a book. Roberta believed all the way down that when you owed money, you were not a free person. The older black woman put it plain to the young ones at the kitchen table. When you owe a man, she said, that man owns a piece of you until the day you pay. That one belief is the reason for every other rule on this whole list. The cash, the coffee can, the susu, the garden. All of it grew from that single idea. For black homes that had so lately come up out of bondage, owing by choice felt like a step back toward it. Being free of debt was never about being cheap. It was about being your own. Here is the rule under all the rules. A debt is a kind of chain, no matter how soft it feels going on. A home that will not owe cannot be owned. And a home that cannot be owned answers to no one on this earth. Look at that drawer one more time. No bills, no payment book, a house and a home, all paid for, all hers. Now here is the whole code in one breath, so you carry it out of here with you. Pay cash for what you buy. Pay yourself before you pay anyone else. Buy the slow way and never on credit. Keep a circle of people you can trust. Let neighbors carry neighbors. Keep your money close, among your own. Grow what you can grow. Trade the skill in your own 2 hands. Owe no one so no one can own you. And believe all the way down that a debt is a chain. 10 rules. That was the whole code, and every one of them still works. Roberta is gone now, but the code is not lost, and her children's children can still live by it. If this warmed you, and if you want to keep it alive, do these 2 small things. Tap like and subscribe to the channel so more of it can be saved. And it is all waiting for you, written plain at blackgrandmasvault.com. The link is right below this video. They were never poor in the ways that truly count. They simply refused to owe. I will see you on the next one.